Imagine opening your eyes to a morning where the air feels heavier than usual, not because of weather or illness, but because the world itself has dimmed. You wake not with excitement or even dread, but with a strange neutrality, like your spirit has slipped quietly out the back door during the night. The things you once loved, your art supplies, your morning playlist, even the way sunlight dances on your coffee, no longer stir anything in you. It's as if color has drained from the canvas of your life, and you can't remember where the paint went. You're not sad exactly, nor angry. You're just nothing. Conversations feel like echoes, looping sounds that touch your ears but don't penetrate your heart. You smile on cue, nod at the right time. Maybe you even perform well at work, but behind your eyes is a vacancy no one seems to notice because you've become good at hiding it. This isn't laziness. It's not even depression in its traditional form. This is something older, deeper, and more existential. A psychological void, a moment where your soul whispers, "What are we doing here?" Carl Jung, the Swiss psychiatrist and mystic, understood this state not as a flaw to fix, but as a vital turning point. In his view, emotional numbness isn't random. It's a signal. It's your unconscious knocking hard on the doors of your conscious life, demanding that you pay attention. Jung once said, "People will do anything, no matter how absurd, to avoid facing their own souls." And he was right. We've built entire lives around distraction. Phones, careers, trends, validation loops. But the psyche keeps score. And when too much of our life is performative, when we've strayed too far from our essence, it hits back. Not with fire, but with silence. From early childhood, we're given a script. Be good, do well, make people proud, get a job, own a house, start a family. These aren't inherently bad things, but the problem is that most of us follow the script so closely, we forget to ask whether it was ever ours to begin with. And what happens when you tick every box and still feel hollow? We assume success equals fulfillment, but it doesn't. Because fulfillment isn't found in what you achieve. It's found in who you become. That hollow feeling? It's your psyche saying, "You've abandoned me. You've built a life outside, but neglected the one within." And now, the scaffolding is cracking. Jung named the journey of returning to your essence individuation. It's not about becoming someone else. It's about becoming yourself, fully and without shame. It requires digging through inherited beliefs, breaking away from roles that no longer serve you, and owning your contradictions, the light and the shadow alike. But here's the kicker. The path to individuation usually begins with a crisis, not always dramatic. Sometimes it starts just like this, with emptiness, with an unshakable question whispered at 3 a.m. Is this really my life? And that question isn't a breakdown, it's an opening. It means part of you is still alive enough to ask for more. This moment, this fog, is not the end, it's the entrance. So, what's the first thing most of us do when we feel that inner emptiness creeping in? We run. We reach for distraction, like it's oxygen. We fill our schedules with noise, binging shows, chasing new experiences, doom scrolling for hours, picking up hobbies not out of love, but out of desperation. Not to live more fully, but to drown out the deafening silence within. And for a moment, it works. The rush of novelty, the buzz of attention, the dopamine from a like or a new purchase. It numbs the ache, but only temporarily. Because here's the hard truth. Distraction doesn't heal emptiness. It only delays it. It pushes the pain underground, where it festers, waiting for another quiet night to reappear. Carl Jung would argue that this instinct to escape is not only human, it's predictable. The ego, your conscious identity, fears dissolution. It fears the unknown, the parts of the self it cannot control. And emptiness threatens the ego because it says something here is missing. Something must change. Stillness then becomes terrifying because in stillness, you can't lie to yourself. When you finally stop running, when you sit alone in your room without a screen, a friend, a task, you begin to hear things, thoughts you've ignored, feelings you've buried, memories you wish you didn't carry, regrets, longings, and most of all, the quiet, insistent voice of your soul asking, "Where are you?" This is why people fear solitude, not because it's lonely, but because it's honest. But in that raw honesty lies the seed of transformation. You may begin to remember who you were before the masks, before the pressure to succeed, before the comparison, the filters, the image. You may recall a moment, however fleeting, when you felt real. Maybe it was lying under the stars, or painting without worrying if it was good, or laughing with someone you loved. In those moments, you weren't performing, you were present. And presence, not perfection, is the beginning of healing. Ask yourself, when was the last time I felt truly alive? Not just happy, not distracted, but alive, as if the world and I were part of the same breath. These glimpses are not accidents. They are messages from your deeper self, reminders of what still lives beneath the numbness. And reconnecting with them is not about going back, it's about going inward. But beware, your mind will resist. It will tell you it's pointless, that you're too broken, too late, too tired. These are not truths. They are defense mechanisms. Psychological armor built to keep the pain out and keep the illusion intact. Stillness will test you. It will show you what you've been avoiding. But it will also reveal what you've forgotten, that you were never truly lost, just out of touch with yourself. This is the paradox. To stop feeling empty, you must stop trying to feel full. You must surrender to the emptiness, not as defeat, but as a guide. Let it take you beneath the surface, past the shoulds and the shame, to the place where your truest self has been waiting, patiently, quietly, all along. You may think you're just tired, burnt out, overwhelmed. But what if that numbness you feel isn't exhaustion? It's identity collapse. Let's get brutally honest. Emotional numbness often hides a deeper fracture, one that goes beyond stress or overstimulation. It's the disconnection between who you really are and who you've been forced to become. From a psychological standpoint, numbness is often a symptom of fragmentation. Pieces of your true self, your desires, emotions, instincts have been buried, edited out, or deemed unacceptable. Why? Because the world taught you early on. Don't be too much. Don't be too loud. Don't be too different. Be useful. Be agreeable. Be productive. So you complied. You dimmed your light to fit in. You wore the masks. You checked all the boxes. And the cost? You lost touch with the raw, unfiltered version of you. Carl Jung warned of this very danger. He believed the most devastating kind of suffering isn't physical. It's spiritual deprivation, a slow starvation of meaning, a life that looks good on the outside but feels hollow on the inside. And this hollowness isn't just philosophical, it's biological. Your nervous system is designed for connection, reflection, and purpose, but modern life assaults it. Endless notifications, constant demands, hyperstimulation 24/7. This isn't just annoying, it's traumatic on a subtle level. Every time you push aside a need to rest, feel, or be alone with your thoughts, you train your body to live in defense mode. Your brain goes into hyper-alert. Your hormones spike. Your emotions shut down to protect you from overwhelm. This is what neuroscientists call adaptive numbness. You disconnect not because you're broken, but because your body is trying to protect you from a world that won't let you pause. Now, add another layer. Society's obsession with performance. You are praised when you produce, not when you feel. You're rewarded for being reliable, not for being real. No one applauds you for sitting in silence or questioning your career path. They clap when you're busy, even if you're breaking. So, what happens? You start defining yourself by output, by your resume, your appearance, your ability to stay on. You confuse doing with being. And before long, you can't remember what you actually want or who you actually are. That's when the void grows. And here's the cruel twist. The more lost you feel inside, the more you search outside for new jobs, new partners, new goals. You try to redesign the surface of your life, hoping the inside will follow. But it doesn't. Because surface solutions don't fix soul-level disconnection. You don't need more upgrades. You need to meet yourself again. This is the real work, not building a better image, but healing the inner fracture, bringing back the exiled parts of yourself, the creative one, the emotional one, the scared one, the angry one, the intuitive one, the one who knew how to dream. When you integrate these lost fragments, numbness begins to melt, not overnight, but gradually, as your nervous system starts to feel safe again, as your soul realizes it's finally being heard. And that's when something miraculous happens. You stop chasing life and start feeling it. Here's the truth. No one tells you. Feeling empty isn't the end of the road. It's the beginning of an awakening. That hollow ache in your chest, that dullness in your days, that's not failure. That's your inner self whispering, it's time to evolve. Carl Jung believed transformation begins not in comfort, but in discomfort. In the moment you stop pretending everything is fine, when the persona cracks, when the old stories no longer fit, when even success tastes like ash, that's when something sacred begins. But here's the paradox. You have to walk through the void, not around it, not over it, through it. You must sit in the silence, let it strip you, let it break the illusions, let it show you what parts of your life were constructed from fear, conformity, or survival. And most importantly, what parts are ready to be reborn. This is not easy. In fact, it's terrifying, because transformation always asks for one thing: the death of who you used to be. It's like shedding a skin. The old you, built on validation, distraction, achievement, must fall away to make space for something real. But in between the old self and the new one, there's a gap, a liminal space, a spiritual hallway where you don't know who you are anymore. That's where most people panic. They rush to rebuild, to fill the silence, to cling to something familiar. But if you can resist that urge, if you can stay in the hallway, you'll hear something deeper, the voice of your soul. And it will not speak in productivity tips or self-help slogans. It will speak in memory, in longing, in forgotten passions, in flashes of childhood wonder, in small sacred truths that were buried under the noise. This is when healing truly begins, not as a fix, but as a return. Return to presence, return to meaning, return to you. You begin to engage with life differently, not as a performance, but as a conversation. You allow stillness. You listen to your inner rhythms. You say no to what drains you, not out of rebellion, but out of reverence. You stop trying to be impressive and start becoming integrated. And slowly, so slowly, you reclaim joy. Not the high of achievement, but the quiet joy of alignment. You find meaning not in the extraordinary, but in the authentic, in real connection, in small rituals, in serving something greater than yourself. You realize you don't need to be busy to be worthy. You don't need to be seen to exist. You don't need to be more. You just need to be whole. So if you're feeling empty, don't run, don't numb it, don't perform over it. Honor it, because your emptiness is not a void. It is a womb. Something is trying to be born, and it's you.